For the viewers at home, here's a good intro. I just rolled up our first random words and our first TV trope for you to play along with. The words are reptile, marsh,
Ooh.
and the TV trope is magical flutist.
Yo, why the couldn't we get those for Swamp?
Right?
I
It was right there.
I could have made a swamp populated by alligator bards. You know how awesome that
So
would
yeah,
have been.
let us know what you come up with. You know we're suckers for bards over here.
Exactly. Chris, put the words on the screen. Lizard,
Sucker for bards.
marsh, and then TV
Or
trope.
reptile.
Or yeah,
Same thing.
reptile, marsh, and then TV trope. Magical flutist. Flautist.
Magical flutist.
Yeah.
No, it says flutist, not
It says
because flautist would be with an O, right?
flautist is Flautist, which is the correct term for someone that plays the flute.
Oh my god, I have a character concept. The Pied Python Piper.
I love it. I love it.
Welcome, one and all, to World in a Jar. We are your hosts, Kyoko and Vale. Our goal is to take a word, concept, or idea and spin it into a story. Be it a character, NPC, group, city, you name it. And thus, those ideas we create become our world in a jar. Of course, they won't all fit in the same jar, so our selection is constantly growing every week. With many spices to choose from, locations, genres, heroes, villains, and tropes, we hope to give you a jar filled with fun and interesting concepts. But first, how are you doing, Kyoko?
I'm doing pretty good. I spent this weekend with a friend of mine where we worked all weekend on the cosplays we're doing at an anime convention at the end of the month. So that was really fun. It's actually what I'm currently working on. They made a bag out of pleather, and I'm embroidering the flap of it. It's my first time embroidering something, so I think I'm doing pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah. How about you? How are you doing?
Well, I lost 6 teeth over the break, but you should see the other guy.
I can't believe the government took your teeth.
You should see the other guy. I didn't hurt him or anything. He's just a successful dentist.
I was about to say, did you fist fight your dentist?
He broke my teeth, so I broke his spine. I told him I really wanted to keep at least one tooth, and he took 6 teeth, and somehow he broke all 6 of them. Or at least told me he broke them because I forgot to ask because I was loopy from the meds, getting wheelchaired out of the dentist office. And so he's like, no, you don't have to come back, I broke them.
Damn.
But I was going to pull a Ron Swanson at work, where Ron pretends to have tooth pain in a meeting, and then he's just like, give me 1 second, guys, and he whips out a pair of pliers and pulls out the tooth he already got removed, but to the extreme discomfort of everyone around him.
Oh my god.
I really wanted to do that.
When I got a tooth pulled, also trigger warning to anyone who might have dental trauma. Sorry about that. Chris put a trigger warning on the screen before we start the segment. When I got a tooth pulled, I, essentially, after they numbed me up, and the numbing was what I was worried about the most, I got to lay back and, they put sunglasses on me because I was right in the light. I just watched in the light what they were doing, and then afterwards I got to keep the pieces of my tooth, and they put it in one of those kids, tooth fairy boxes. I still have that.
Oh, yeah.
I still have that. Really weird thing
There's the
to
tooth
have,
fairy.
but
Has the tooth fairy ever paid you off?
Well, I had to pay the dentist
For that one.
$170, so essentially I had to pay the tooth fairy.
God damn.
Yeah.
Chris censored God, but not damn.
If I only could, I'd make a deal with God.
Two avocados for $10.
He said, that's not very good. I said, yeah, but you're God. Either way, what are we doing today?
We're doing a character episode, I think.
That's my favorite That's my favorite TikTok. But yeah, we're making another character today. We have a lot on the list of classes we still have to make, so we decided that would be a good thing to do for Vale's first episode back post-surgery.
Yeah, it's fair. It's easy. It's free for your listening pleasure. Where's I gonna go with this? I don't know.
It's cheap and easy. Like Little Caesar's
stored...
Pizza. Little Caesar sponsor us.
Dude, Little Caesars is the best, but only if they sponsor us.
Exactly.
I can't even believe, man. It's been so long since I've had Little Caesars.
Little Caesars is good. It gives me a stomach ache sometimes, though.
Yeah, it is very greasy.
But as for the list of classes we have left, Warlock, Monk, Rogue, Sorcerer, Wizard, Druid, and Ranger. We also still have Barbarian left, but we're saving that for Editor Chris.
For Chris's episode.
Yeah. So, do you want to roll a d8, or should I?
It's a d8? I thought it was a d6.
We have 7. We have 7 left.
Oh, okay. I don't know where any of my dice are.
I can roll.
Okay.
Just drop.
If you roll Monk, I swear.
I'm rolling a dice from a dice set I got at Dollar Tree.
Wow, they're selling dice sets at Dollar Tree?
Sometimes. This was a dice set I got at a Dollar Tree in Indiana. I was surprised Indiana had this. 7. That is a Ranger.
Ah, interesting. I have
Oh, go ahead.
I have complex feelings about Rangers.
I do too, to be quite honest. I've never played a Ranger before. Well, that's a lie. In our high school friend group, when we all tried doing D&D one time, there were like 10 of us. We played 2 sessions of first edition D&D, and the character I was given was a Ranger. So that was my only experience playing a Ranger.
Hey, I was in that game, and I played an illusionist wizard who pretended to be a priest. Well, no, he was a priest. He pretended to be a cleric.
I don't remember what Buzz played. I know Buzz was there. I don't remember what Buzz played.
Rangers are so much better if you go at least 3 levels into many other classes.
Yeah. I feel like
the last 3 levels of Ranger just suck.
I know a lot of first-time D&D players, a lot of them pick Ranger, or at least a decent amount of them pick Ranger, because, animal lover, nature, but not a druid, archery is really cool, things like that. There's a lot of...
And it does give... Sorry.
Oh, you're good. There's a lot of cool subclasses to Ranger, but Ranger is, I feel like, a hard class to do as a first-time player.
I mean, it gives you the best of both worlds in a bad way, where it gives you all of the martial stuff, and then it also gives you magic to deal with at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of the most complicated half-casters to play.
For paladins, you don't even need to care about your spell list. You could just say, I smite, I smite, I smite.
Exactly. I smite, what level?
Yeah, now smites leave a bad taste in my mouth because of Crow last session.
That Rakshasa didn't stand a chance.
And it's funny because I was the one telling him, you get an extra D8 for this.
You
'Cause
magooed
he's a
yourself.
fiend. I magooed myself.
Oh shit, I played myself.
But yeah, I do have a couple inspirations for Ranger. None of them are Aragorn. I think Aragorn is a fighter, and Legolas is a rogue.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I read the Drizzt Do'Urden books, but Drizzt is such a cool character.
Mm-hmm.
You can see why he has a hugely devoted fan base. And he doesn't even he's like an old outdated version like Martial Ranger.
Yeah.
So he doesn't even use magic. He's just really good with his scimitars.
Hell yeah.
And he's also got like a heart of gold. He's just like the best guy anyone's ever met when they get past the fact that he's like the one good person out of an evil race.
Yeah. But
then my main inspiration for Ranger is someone I found in Baldur's Gate 3, a little guy named Minsk.
Mm-hmm.
He is the most himbo character I've ever seen. He has one thought, and it's his miniature giant space hamster.
Uh-huh. Miniature giant space hamster. My brain
He's
didn't
just
question that at first. My brain didn't question that.
It's pretty much his familiar, Boo, which in Baldur's Gate 3, you can summon Boo and then throw Boo at people, and Minsk will say, "Go for the eyes, Boo!" and Boo has a chance of blinding whoever he's thrown at.
Yes.
And also, Boo is like the voice of reason, which only Minsk can talk to.
Jesus Christ.
And let me just assure you, Minsk is an idiot supreme.
Hell yeah. As he should be.
And I think he's just so inspiring as a ranger, because you don't really get ranger energy from him.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he was like the most powerful build I had in my first run of Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, nice. Nice.
But yeah, do you have any inspirations for rangers?
What the hell do I have on my list? I know I have Atreus from God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok. Because, you know, Atreus, he's an archer. He can do both martial and arcane attacks. He is very much in tune with the nature around him, especially the animals and things around him. He's very resourceful and things like that, can definitely survive on his own, has the dexterity and eventually the wisdom and the intelligence to truly embody what is thought of as a ranger, in my opinion.
Atreus, from what I've played, is very far into ranger.
Yeah, and you've played, are you playing Ragnarok right now or 2018?
2018.
Oh yeah, you still have little baby Atreus.
I said I would complete the game by the end of the year, and I picked it up once and just haven't touched it because I've been involved in so many other games.
Valid. But oh my god, you need to finish God of War.
I do.
Because, oh my god. But yeah, Atreus, especially in God of War Ragnarok, really embodies like the quintessential ranger. It's really cool to see.
I think a really good combination is the Ranger Barbarian combo that Atreus and Kratos have going on.
Yeah. And in God of War Ragnarok, in my opinion, Atreus takes a level in Barbarian so he could rage.
Oh my god, really?
So he can rage.
He has the Spartan rage.
He has a rage, yeah. That's all I'm gonna tell you. That's all I'm telling
Holy shit.
you.
I really need to play it.
It's so good. Definitely play God of War for the story and the emotional impact, but gameplay-wise, I feel like it's also really, really good. But yeah, Atreus, like, if you look at the breakdown of the quote-unquote party for God of War, Kratos the Barbarian, Atreus the Ranger, Mimir the Familiar, essentially, because he can't do anything as a head, Freya the Druid. It's great. Brock and Sindri is the Forge clerics. Cleric used very loosely. But yeah, Atreus is my main inspiration. I wrote down Robin Hood also, but I don't want to talk about Robin Hood, because the only Robin Hood I can really think of off the top of my head is the fox Robin Hood, and I don't want to talk about him.
We might awaken something in our audience.
Yeah, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, neither do I.
Y'all can discuss Fox Robin Hood in the comments.
I still need to watch Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Oh,
I hear.
that's really good.
Oh man. And here I was thinking I'd be able to talk about watching Aliens yesterday on this podcast, but Ranger is definitely not among aliens.
No, Sigourney Weaver is not a ranger.
But yeah, are we ready to start creating?
Absolutely.
Okay. Who goes first?
Shall I flip for it?
I'll be heads.
All right. I actually caught it this time, and it's tails.
Oh, oh my goodness.
I get to go first.
These are kind of rangery words. There's a lot of different ways you can go with this.
Hell yeah.
Trance and knowledge.
Interesting. I'm picking a green pen to write in today. Trance. Knowledge. Well, let's see. Typical build quick build for a ranger. Dex, highest ability score, followed by wisdom. Some rangers who focus on 2-weapon fighting make strength higher than dex. Okay.
Lies. Lies. All you need is dex.
All you need is a finesse weapon and you're fine.
Until you get dual wielder and can use bigger one-handed weapons.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me look at the subclasses. Cause my brain has an idea, but I don't know if I want to use that idea.
What's the idea?
I don't know if I want to say it out loud. So I'm gonna look through the subclasses to find something different. I don't know. These are really difficult words to use because they're so sort of like generic. Because knowledge can really be anything. Like if I think ranger, I think knowledgeable of their landscape, knowledgeable of the creatures around them, knowledgeable of their favored enemy and things like that.
Like herbology and medicine.
Yeah, herbology, medicine, biology, things like that. Trance makes me think of things like oh god damn it, I did the thumbs up thing again. I might should. I'm on my Mac and I put my thumb up to like count something and it did the thumbs up bubble. But when I think trance, I think of things like hypnosis. I think of being entranced by something, being almost like, I don't want to say hyper focused on something because that gives a different connotation to it, but being unable to pull your eyes away from something, being unable to break your attention on something, and trying to figure out how to make a ranger out of that. Because Beastmaster kind of wouldn't work for that. Swarm Keeper maybe, but
I think we could do away with like the classes, just like, what's this guy about? What does he go into a trance about?
True. I mean, I was gonna say like Fey Wanderer would probably be the best subclass for these words. Because that gives you a lot of enchantment magic, and enchantment magic a lot of the time is about putting someone in a trance, like Charm Person. Charm Person, Mislead, Suggestion, Mass Suggestion, things like that. Even things like Silvery Barbs could be used because it, like, distracts, things like that, pulls your attention away from the attack at hand. So really, things like that. And I guess this person, you could say, ends up being a very bard-coded ranger. But they definitely use their magic to sort of get themselves out of trouble, but also sort of taking on like an Odin from Norse mythology kind of feel to them. Like, gaining knowledge is their number one goal. Like, they will do anything to further their knowledge in something, whether it be their favored terrain or their favored foe, or just more magic or magical items, things like that. Like, I imagine they are very greedy for knowledge. Yeah. And they use the knowledge that they have alongside the Fey magic that they have at their disposal.
Yeah.
They use that to their
like,
advantage.
Things like Charm Person helps get more knowledge out of other people.
Yeah. Charm Person helps with that. Fey Wanderers don't get Suggestion, but they get Misty Step, Dispel Magic, Dimension Door, and Mislead. And even that, Fey Wanderers at 3rd level, it says your Fey qualities give you a supernatural charm. As a result, whenever you make a charisma check, you gain a bonus to the check equal to your wisdom mod, which is really good. In addition, you gain proficiency in one of the following skills: Deception, Performance, or Persuasion. So, I feel like they definitely use this to their advantage. Especially, like, let's say they're a higher level ranger. Because at level 15, Fey Wanderers get Misty Wanderer, where they can cast Misty Step without a spell slot, and they can do so a number of times equal to their Wisdom mod. So it's like, they can infiltrate places to get information, they can charm people to get the information that they want, and get into places if they don't want to, like, just pop in and out of the Feywild, things like that. This is like a really sort of conniving person.
Right. What's their motivation then? Well, other than getting more knowledge. Like, what's their deal?
I would say their deal I know a lot of rangers do this where they focus their backstory around their favorite foe. But I feel like that is still, like, a very good way to go. So, like, this ranger is gaining all of the knowledge that they can on their favorite enemy. And they are getting that knowledge by any means necessary. I need to look at, favorite enemy. Aberrations, beasts, celestials, constructs, dragons, elementals, fae. That's a lot of things. Alternatively, you could select 2 races of humanoids such as gnolls and orcs as favorite enemies. What if fae is their favorite enemy? And they are gathering all of this knowledge and even utilizing fae magic as a sort of, like, know your enemy sort of thing.
Right. Sorry.
Oh, you're
sorry.
You're good.
I got zoned out.
You're good. Like, let's say this ranger's backstory is that, like, one of their loved ones or someone close to them was taken and utilized by the fae in some way, shape, or form. Whether it be like they accidentally gave their name to a fae or gave a part of themselves to the fae, or let's say they're a warlock, like their friend became a warlock for a fae, an archfae or something like that. And this ranger is essentially using whatever they have at their disposal and even dipping into fae magic and things like that to either avenge their friend, get their friend back, something like that.
Yeah, that sounds compelling.
I feel like it would make for, like, a good story plot for the character and even for, like, a party to follow. Especially if a DM wants to incorporate the Feywild into their story. Because it could involve traveling to the Feywild and this ranger being the source of knowledge on traversing the area.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think that's where I'm gonna leave it for the trope.
All right. Yeah, there's definitely a lot that can be expanded upon. Oh god, my words.
Oh no.
My words are south and improve.
Improve the sound.
We really need to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. South and improve.
I think of... I mean, a lot of people in the South kind of roleplay being Wild West Rangers. And Ranger being the operative word.
This town ain't big enough for the 2 of us.
And they have like deep dives on the flora and the fauna of the deserts and whatnot. Sorry, I can't focus. The reason I zoned out was my boss texted me on my day off.
Gross.
But fuck. Chris edit that out. So this kind of like Southern charm, it's kind of Southern hospitality too, where they can cook and present well for guests. Definitely has like the Outlander background where they can easily hunt and forage for food.
Mm-hmm.
And then improve. What are they trying to improve?
It could be like the community they live in. It could be the nature of the area they live in. It could be the ecosystem, or like the lifestyle of the animal, the flora and fauna of where they live.
So, tending to the flora and fauna, like helping sick rattlesnakes and whatnot.
Yeah.
Honestly, what if it was Beastmaster Ranger with like a giant snake familiar, even though giant snakes are typically rainforest animals?
Oh my god, it's Orochimaru. No, Orochimaru's not a ranger. But yeah, that would be really cool. Or if it's a desert, it could be their familiar is a giant armadillo.
Hello?
Oh, did you? Oh, sorry. If they're in a desert, their familiar could be a giant armadillo.
Yeah. Ooh, and what's the armadillo's deal now? We gotta
build the armadillo.
Great, now we're putting in Minsk and Boo.
Hell yeah.
I talked about the inspiration, and now we're pouring it right into the idea.
But yeah, for improve, like, what do you think this ranger would do to improve their environment? How do you think they would go about that?
Well, of course, planting more vegetation, just to sustain the ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
Trying really hard not to say there's some guy turning all the snakes into snakeskin boots.
Oh man.
Is that the classic Veil trope of they're taking all the resources to extinction?
Have you ever played Red Dead Redemption?
I have not.
So Red Dead Redemption is one of those games that is sort of like you play as a cowboy, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember much about Red Dead, but I feel like Red Dead would be a good like inspiration for this sort of like country ranger, desert ranger. Well, maybe later we can both look into Red Dead.
Yeah. Because the only Western character I've ever thought of was the Revengealist, who is definitely not a ranger. How do I do this? Sorry, my brain is melting.
You are good. I haven't taken my meds today, so my brain is everywhere.
This is gonna be a low effort day for me. No bones day.
It's a no bones day. That's valid. You're missing 6 bones from your mouth.
Exactly.
6 whole bone hole.
Improve is just such a hard one for me. Because it's like, I mean, they could be planting things everywhere they go to kind of sustain the ecosystem.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they're stopping poachers or something like that, improving the quality of life for the animals around them.
Right.
Because I feel like that's a very
Gunning.
ranger thing to do, especially a Beastmaster ranger.
Yeah, gunning down poachers.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the Wild Thornberrys movie, but they actually kill the poachers.
Right.
Like they should have.
Exactly.
But yeah, it could be that, or like protecting an endangered species, nurturing an endangered species out of being endangered.
Oh yeah. Oh, their Beastmaster companion is an endangered animal, and he's trying to get this animal laid. So that way it can continue the legacy.
God,
so that
like
way
getting
get him out of
pandas to do
extinction.
that. Are we keeping the familiar as the giant armadillo?
No, yeah, familiar is something different.
Okay. Oh god.
The familiar is just a regular armadillo.
Okay.
But the beast companion is
is yeah.
Some big lizard like a Gila monster or something.
Oh hell yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the bones of the character, is trying to restore an endangered species that also fights with him, or fights with them, and also, well, we haven't. I said we were going to touch on the armadillo. We have to touch on the armadillo.
I imagine, what if the armadillo was like the first animal that they nurtured back to good health?
Yeah.
It's like they've been with the armadillo since they were like a kid.
And they can speak to animals with like a spell, and so this armadillo talks, and honestly, I kind of want to roll 2 new words for the armadillo.
But do we have time to roll 2 new words for the armadillo?
Yeah, we're at 38 minutes. It'll be a quickie. I've got formulate and brag. Okay, that's honestly enough right there. This is a bragger of an armadillo. Thinks he can take on the world, and then the slightest sign of danger.
The armadillo the armadillo has a sigil for speak with animals on it, so it can always no, it's been awakened. A wizard awakened this armadillo. This armadillo is the most egotistical armadillo in the West. In the South.
I'm thinking of the wizard as some southern guy too, where instead of a big pointy hat, it's a humongous 10-gallon.
Oh, absolutely. It's Doug Dimmadome.
Yeah.
Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
Doug Wizardome.
Doug Wizardome. But alright, is this where you're gonna leave your ranger and his armadillo for the trope?
Yeah.
Alright.
See you at trope time. Alright, it's trope time.
Trope time! Let me flip that coin. Do you want heads again?
I want heads again, yeah.
Oh, I caught it again. It's tails.
Ooh. This is an interesting twist that is kind of left field for your character, I think. It's called the Dreaded. A villain or anti-hero whose primary characteristic is the fear the other side has of them. To be the Dreaded, a character has to be far and away the most feared person in the story. These are people who make you quail, but not because of anything they're doing at the moment, but simply because you know who they are and what they're capable of. And sometimes the latter part is optional.
Oh, that's easy. It's the Archfey that took their friend.
Oh, yeah.
Because, the idea of Archfeys is terrifying. Like, this supremely powerful Fey being. Especially when Feys use primarily enchantment magic. So, like, even though this ranger, depending on their level, has, let me read, let me make sure I'm saying this right. Has like advantage on saving throws against being charmed or frightened. And they can do the same thing to another creature. It's still a terrifying thought, because like this archfey could have magic beyond anyone's comprehension, really. Like, yes, this ranger has been like studying Fey magic and gaining knowledge about the Fey and the Feywilds and potentially this archfey in general, but they've never faced this archfey before. Like, they've never actually encountered this archfey outside of their friend making a pact with them.
Yeah.
So, like, this archfey holds a space in their mind of being this, like, supremely powerful concept, instead of just, like, you know, another enemy to defeat, or another Fey to take down. So, like, it's just this thought that fills them with dread, which can, like, push them toward, sort of, like, a more fervent need for knowledge, makes them sort of desperate for more knowledge, and they'll go to extremes for that knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say they even join a party that has someone who is half Fey, like a Firbolg or something, on the party, so they can learn more about Fey, sort of vicariously through the Firbolg, and they end up either betraying the party for, like, more knowledge, or overstepping lots of boundaries, or leaving the party in a time of need to, like, rush forward for more information, putting the party in danger, things like that. All in...
And this character might start with absolutely no inkling of what holds back a
Yeah,
Fae.
exactly.
Like, they have no idea the Fae are ruled by rules and decorum.
Yeah, like, they could have some knowledge of that, just being like, yeah, there are rules, like, they sort of classify them as morals more than anything else, rather than actual rules the Fae have to follow.
Right.
But even then, like, I would say that the idea of having to face that archfey eventually, especially as they get higher in level and experience and things like that, it fills them with more and more dread until, like, their party says that they support them and things like that, or they come to the realization that they're not alone in this endeavor and things like that. That they don't have to face this powerful being by themselves.
Right. Oh, so that brings in their conflict, and then their resolution too.
Yeah.
Is realizing they don't have to take it on alone.
Exactly. Something that helps them combat the dread. At least the dread as a concept in their mind, until it can be personified when they actually face the archfey.
Right. I think that took it in a wonderful direction.
Thanks. I think that's where I'm gonna.
Do you have anything more to add?
No, I think that's where I'm gonna leave it. It gives people out there who want to use this idea a good building ground for what to do, because they can add more detail, they can add specifics, they can change things around if they want, which is really cool. And party composition, especially with where I took this situation, makes a big difference. Like, it plays a big role. So I will leave this jar for our viewers.
Yeah. Just getting kind of weird, super unrelated.
Oh
ones.
no.
Oh, this one finally works.
Mm-hmm.
Vile vulture.
Ooh.
When it comes to being a brutal bird of prey, these guys definitely take the cake. Vultures are seen as a bad omen and a symbol of death because they can sniff out a dead animal from a mile away. In fact, when a group of vultures is feeding on carrion, it's called a wake.
Yeah.
Due to their eating habits, vultures are vilified by the public and unfairly blamed for killing livestock. So, vultures are hunting the beast companion.
Yeah.
And possibly the armadillo, too.
No!
Honestly, I'm thinking of, like, the Team Rocket of vultures who are always trying to get at these animals and never succeeding, but always coming in very inconvenient times.
Yeah.
Oh my god. The vultures are the animal familiars of, like, the villain of this guy. Like, they're the flying monkeys for this other evil ranger who's trying to... What is he trying to do? I had the train of thought and then it just stopped moving.
Chris, play the music. Chris, please. Maybe
he's trying to get any inkling of, like, any piece of the beast companion to clone the beast companion rather than, like, naturally create more.
Yeah.
So same cross to carry, but different angle, and, like, a little bit less, because, like, you're cloning the exact same thing. You're hugely limiting the gene.
Yeah. And thus natural selection could more easily take its toll on the animal.
Yeah. And so the vultures are they're giant vultures, and they're trying to carry this beast away. And so this western beastmaster ranger has to always fend off these vultures.
Yeah. Can have a good, Wild West shootout at the end, too, except with two archers at each other instead of guns.
And then the way they go after the armadillo is, like, trying to get leverage on the guy.
Oh my god, they take the armadillo hostage.
They take the armadillo hostage, and they're like, "Come meet me in my lair if you want your armadillo back."
Come meet me in my lair if you want roly-poly back.
Don't worry, we'll only give him a couple scars to brag about.
You hear the armadillo on the other side of the sending. The armadillo's like, "Fuck you, guy! I can eat you in a second!" Chris, don't even bleep that out. Put a picture of an armadillo over my screen as I say that.
Armadillo gives me reminds me of my pangolin man character from our treasure planning campaign. He wasn't a braggart, though. He was just, like, chaotic.
I love pangolins.
So good.
But yeah, that would be really cool. I think another way to go about it would be, like, this vulture master is essentially like, what if the beast companion of your ranger has, like, magical, like, innate magical abilities and things like that. So its species were the, like, prime food source for him in the vault, for the enemy ranger and the vultures because they could siphon its magic from it.
Yeah.
That might be a cool way to go.
Exactly. Oh, classic Vale hunting or using resources to the brink of extinction.
And enemy same classes against each other.
Yeah. Right. How many times have we done that now? Because there was the fighter, there was the artificer.
Well, you
and now there's the
specifically
ranger.
have done it in your characters with the bard. I think with the paladin, the bard, and the ranger.
No way. Oh my god. I'm just a sucker for like an even,
and then you've done it with Ivor,
playing field
the
fight.
wizard.
Well, Ivor does have a wizard rival. I'm like, does he? What about the warden?
Am I ever wrong, Vale?
You're never wrong.
Thanks. But do you think that's a good place to leave it?
Okay, so how about the guy's a druid? How about the guy's
that
a
works?
druid?
that works.
And like conjure woodland beings or something to summon these giant vultures.
What if the other guy, his wild shape he always goes to is the giant vulture? So he's the one carrying off things. It's like Yubaba in Spirited Away when she turns into the giant ugly bird.
Yeah.
Me throwing shade at Yubaba. But I think this is a good place to seal up these jars and put them on the market. If you like this show or need any ideas, you can find us on Twitter at worldsinjars or email us at worldinajar1@gmail.com. Do you have any recommendations or anything, Vale, before we go?
Yeah. Leave a comment in the YouTube channel. Say what kind of character you develop from their prequel words.
Yeah. Absolutely. Either leave us a YouTube comment or message us on Twitter about it. Remember, the words are reptile and marsh, and the TV trope is magical flutist.
The pied python piper.
Show me your bards.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Do you have any recommendations?
I can't recommend God of War again. I've done that 3 times.
Right.
But yeah, no, play. One recommendation I do have as the resident bard, if you guys haven't played Crypt of the Necro Dancer.
Oh, I love the soundtrack from that game.
Play that. One of my favorite streamers, his wife got to play the oboe for the first boss.
Really?
Yeah. And they just released a Hatsune Miku DLC where you can play as Miku. So, go play as Miku! Send me your Miku pictures, please. But either
All
way,
right.
do something good for yourself, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
This episode was edited by Chris at ChrisRogersVO on Twitter. Go check him out.